So what is the deal with people trading off the new Toyota Tacoma already? You know, as soon as you go to the dealership and you sign on that paper and they eventually title it over to you, it's a used vehicle, right? I mean, you're going to drop value anywhere from 8 to 10, maybe more percent. To me, it seems absolutely crazy, but I am seeing used 2024 Tacomas available now. Now, it's possible that maybe some companies have bought them and they've used them to develop new products and things. You know, a lot of the vendors and stuff have taken measurements and all that kind of stuff. But even so, there can't be that many of them, can there? Or maybe there are. I know the aftermarket, of course, for the Toyota Tacoma is huge. So maybe there are a lot of companies out there that have bought the trucks right off the bat and then utilized them for product design. It is a business expense, right? And wrote off the loss because obviously when they sell these new trucks, it's going to be at a loss. You're never going to sell the brand new truck that you just bought for what you paid for it. There is going to be a cost of business, if you will, in doing that. So the big question is, are these good trucks? Should you actually consider buying one of these used trucks? Well, you know, the funny thing about the new Tacoma is dealerships are selling them at such premiums that I'm not sure that it's a good deal to buy a used Tacoma. I'm not sure, I'm talking about the new Tacoma, the 2024. I'm not sure that you actually are going to get a deal on it. I think you're going to be paying pretty darn close to, if not sticker price, and maybe even a premium on the Tacoma, on the new Tacoma. Not something that I would do, particularly because you're going to be so close to what the cost of a new one is. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Plus, you're still getting a used truck, right? What you really don't know is how the folks that owned those trucks for such a short period of time actually treated them. I mean, did they take them out and beat the hell out of them on the trails? You know, if you're buying a 2x4, or 4x4 rather, or even a 2x2. And by the way, while we're speaking about 2x2s, you know, there's, for some reason, the belief out there that if you have a two-wheel drive Tacoma, you can't do anything with it. In other words, you can't drive off-road, you can't drive on gravel, you can't drive in the snow. And it's funny because it takes me back to when I first started driving. Now, I was a new driver, right? 16 years old. I drove a full-size, I think it was either a Chevy or Ford long bed pickup truck, right? Rear-wheel drive. It was not a 4x4. And I lived up north. I lived in Ohio, where, of course, we got snow. Somehow I managed to use that two-wheel drive in the snow and didn't get stuck anywhere. I never got stuck in that truck. Never had any issue at all. I think we might have put a little bit of weight in the bed, maybe a couple bags of dirt or something. I don't remember. But in what I know now and looking back, those couple of bags of dirt didn't mean anything. I mean, what did they weigh? 50 pounds a piece? Maybe you had 100 pounds in your bed. That really didn't make that much of a difference. I mean, unless you're very thin, you're going to weigh more than that yourself just sitting in the truck. So I don't see that that really made any difference. I didn't have any issues. So this theory that you can't do anything with a two-wheel drive and you've got to have a 4x4 if you want to hit the dirt or drive in the snow is absolutely absurd. I often think when people tell me that whoever is saying it is probably a pretty inexperienced driver, because the only time that you really need 4x4 is if you're in thick mud, or maybe you're in deep sand or something like that, and you're probably in a situation that you should have known better and shouldn't have gotten yourself into anyway. And by the way, 4x4s get stuck too. If you don't believe me, just search stuck 4x4s on the web. There's nothing more comical than seeing a 4x4 stuck and all four wheels and tires are spinning and they're just digging a hole. It's crazy. I don't know. So back to this trading the truck in. You know, I have a couple theories about why people are doing it. One I've told you already, and that is that maybe some companies bought them so they could do testing and things like that. The other is that those early depositors You know, those people that put money down on the truck, got their spot to buy it, sight unseen, never drove one, didn't like the truck. They got it, they paid for it, their first drive was when they went home. And you know, there probably are dealers out there who wouldn't let them drive the truck, only because it was brand new and the dealership didn't want to have any miles on it either, because they knew that if the person that put the deposit down didn't like it, they then would have a truck that might have a bunch of miles on it that they'd have more difficulty in selling, right? So it's possible that those folks did indeed buy the new Tacoma without ever even driving it. So they got it home, and for whatever reason, they didn't like it. Who knows what that might have been? Maybe they didn't like the tech, maybe they didn't like the interior, the new body style. You know, it's really hard to say. Or even possibly that they had to wait so long that they came across something else that they wanted instead of the new Tacoma. Might have even bought it, who knows, and then for some reason felt obligated to go ahead and carry through with the transaction. You know, I know there are folks out there that feel that because they gave their word, in essence, or told the dealership that they wanted that truck, that they felt committed to it, and that no matter what, they had to follow through with the transaction and buy the truck, even if, after thinking about it, they really didn't like the truck too much. I'm sure that happens too, although I'm hoping it's not a mass number of people that do that, because it's such a waste of money. And after all, the dealership is going to be able to sell it anyway, particularly when you're dealing with a model that's in short demand, as the new Tacoma still is, I think, and it's brand new. So you don't really have to feel committed, and that you've got to keep your word and buy that new truck. Otherwise, I just don't get it, because the truck hasn't been out that long. I mean, it's only been, what, a couple, 3 months or something like that, where you're actually able to get one, unless you were one of those first buyers. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Again, it's a huge waste of money. I would say that you shouldn't buy any brand new model if you haven't taken it out and driven it. And if you have any doubt at all, don't buy it. Get your deposit back and go on to something else, because the money that's lost by buying a new truck and then turning it back in a couple of months just doesn't make any sense. A very poor financial decision. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Why are people trading the new Tacoma already? What's your theory? I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.